Hey, everybody, and welcome to Open Pike Night Live. Tonight, our stream is Strange Blue Worlds, talking about the first season's Blu-ray Blu-ray release of Strange New Worlds. So, I'm your host, John T. Bolds, here tonight to lift the veil between the everyday activity of streaming media and the ancient, dusty world of physical media. That's right, your grandpa's entertainment. We're here to talk about it today. Joining me today are my co hosts, the man who has lived a life of gold, nugget clips just left on the cutting room floor, host of Sudden But Inevitable, Jesse.
It's true. I get cut more than anybody on this show, and that means that there are just hours and hours of deleted scenes that make the show better that John refuses to share with you.
And the man who knows how different the story of behind the scenes featurettes and what behind the scenes is really like, host of Green Shirt, a newbie's trek through TNG, Cameron.
Gag me with a reel.
And yeah, like we said, tonight we're here to just sort of talk about what the Strange New World Season 1 Blu-ray, DVD, Steelbook, 4K, whatever release you got or thinking of getting, what's it like? What kind of features it comes with, how it looks, how it sounds. And to start out with, I just want to thank Paramount and Paramount Home Entertainment and CBS for supplying us with a few copies of the Blu-ray early enough so that we could watch the features, make our notes, enjoy the additional content, because, you know, here at Open Pike Night, we are all about Strange New Worlds. So we've had a chance to watch through all the features that come with the media, and I think we're going to start talking about it here. We're gonna stay as spoiler free as possible. We aren't here to just give complete details of everything you're going to see. I mean, let's acknowledge it up front. This is us talking about a commercial product from a company. So they, they are looking to sell it. We're just here to give an honest review of what we think, what the additional features are like, and how we feel it fits in the Star Trek universe of physical media, which is, I mean, really, if you owned all of them, that's a pretty big universe these days.
Oh yeah, just the those TOS discs alone, where it's like 2 episodes per disc. I mean, that fills up like 2 of my bookshelves right there. So
Yeah.
it takes up some space. Guys, I just want to say I am super excited for this. As an aging cinephile, I grew up, in the 90s and early aughts. I have devoured so many DVD special features and reviews of DVDs, reading and watching them. So now that I'm giving my very first official DVD review, it's kind of a big deal.
And here to help us celebrate, of course, are all of you in the chat. I want to say thank you to Mark, Engineer Mark. I want to say thank you to Ricky. I want to say thank you to Season Girl. I want to say thank you to Kelly. I want to say thank you to Peter. Thank you to everybody who hasn't shown up yet that is going to show up, and everybody who I just named. We, as Open Pike Night, wouldn't be the show that we are without you, because that's what we are. We're the show that makes your personal logs the prime directive. So thank you for being here, as you always are, to lift us up where those without physical media cannot reach. We deeply appreciate it.
Definitely. So we've got a little bit of a layout here as far as how the review is going to go, and we're just going to start off with what you first see when you tear open your shipping box, Cam.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah. First, let's just lay out. We're going to be pretty spoiler free for this first. We're just going to review the disc. If we think, if you haven't bought it yet, if we think it's something worth your time and money to seek out and get. After that, we're going to get into kind of a more Open Pike Night. We're going to really dig into these special features and what they say about season 1, maybe a little bit about season 2, and just the making of the show itself.
Yep.
But yes, let's just start with the.
Got a little bit of a connection issue there on Cameron. We may have to reset him if we don't mind, Producer John.
I'm back.
Oh, there we go. There he is.
Here I am. I just want to show this. The best Star Trek show in decades, the front says. Someone over at the Strange New Worlds marketing department throwing a little shade at the rest of the Star Trek shows, it seems. It's not the Happy Family. Maybe there's a little sibling rivalry there going on, some elbows being thrown.
That's a quote from Slash Film. That's not a quote from somebody in the marketing department.
But they choose which quotes to use.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that the folks that are currently running season 3 of Picard's marketing are going to do the exact same thing with their physical release, because they're getting very similar praise, to be 100% fair. But yeah, I have to agree, like, to see the like certified fresh sticker on a Star Trek product, I know that it's a small thing, right? Like, I get that it's a small thing, but like, for there to be like a general consensus of quality around a first season of Star Trek is A, not super common, and B, just it's overwhelmingly cool as a Trekkie to be like, I told you, the rest of the world, that this was cool, and now you all seem to agree with me.
Yeah, and it was man, I remember back in the old days, you'd get discs, and the plastic that wrapped them in was bulletproof, so you could try and open it with fingernails, but yeah, usually you had to cut it open. I can't remember the last time I bought a new Blu-ray, but hey, this one opened up pretty easy once you took that pretty sleeve off, and inside we got 3 Blu-ray discs. Comes with the 4 episodes each on the first 2 discs, and then the third disc has the 9th and 10th episodes, and has Balance of Terror available as well to watch.
Right, super cool. Super.
That was a nice special feature.
I didn't know that was going to be included. I don't know that it's listed on the back. I think it's only listed on the inside cover, like the liner for disc 3.
Right.
And I opened that up and went, okay, that's brilliant, because I mean, as the Strange New Worlds podcast that puts you in connection with the people that make Strange New Worlds, to see that those people decided that this story is important enough to be included on the actual disc is really just, it reinforces what we did, which was to cover that episode a little bit with Matthew McFadgen, the Romulan commander himself, from the season 1 finale. You guys, holding this in my hand, it feels like a culmination of something we did, even though we didn't make this. Does that make any sense to you? Like,
yeah,
I feel it's like an item that the community built. Is kind of how I feel. Like, because fans demanded this series with these characters, and here it is. Like, it's physically here, and I'm so happy.
And I was thinking about that too, watching some of the featurettes, not the deleted scenes quite as necessarily, but the behind the scenes features they made. I'm like, oh, we interviewed that person. We interviewed that person. We interviewed that person. There's a lot of additional information in our interviews that it's like, oh, okay, I can see how what we have heard, get boiled down to what makes it onto the special feature. And it was also interesting to see what stories they didn't tell us in the interviews. Like, what the heck, man? I thought they were going to give us every detail possible. And we have 12, 13 hour long interviews that we cut down to an hour and a half.
That's not true, guys. That's not true.
I
Speaking of Romulan commanders, the 3 discs in the 2 slots, though, that is a little bit of Romulan torture there, because trying to get the second disc out of this little plateau.
Yep.
I know they're trying to save money on the disc space, the plastic, but
yeah,
I wake up from nightmares of breaking discs trying to get them out of that.
Okay, so I guess, I mean, this is an important time to ask the question of both all of us and of our listeners in the chat. There are a few different styles of disc packaging, probably more that Cam and I have run into more so than Jesse, but I'm sure Jesse's seen them all. You've got this where you stack discs right on top of one another, and you feel that scratch disc little twinge to the back of your neck. You've got the book sleeve. You've got the actual plastic sleeve in the middle. Usually, what was it, 1.5 discs tall?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got the ones where
On a
it's just
hinge.
built into the case with I've had 3 discs, 2 discs and 4 discs just stacked up on top of each other like that as part of the case.
Was it Voyager that did like a 7-disc like pivoted book?
I think so. Yeah, there's a book style, so
translucent.
yeah.
There's a thing about Blu-ray is that it's not supposed to matter if they get scratched, right? Like, because of how the reader works or something. This is something I was told.
News
I
to
don't
me.
know if it's true. But I also
Sounds like something big Blu-ray would say.
it does. But I've also never scratched a Blu-ray because I'm that guy that's like, do not let the child touch it. Maybe I should just load it personally. Like I'll just take care of it, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you that it gave me a twinge, not dissimilar to like noticing a small Trek detail that I was like, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to deal with this, and it immediately brought that thing to my mind where I was like, wait a minute, aren't Blu-rays magical?
We got this comment from Mark. Don't forget that sticky seal thing across the top. Oh yes,
I
it's
still have DVDs that are sticky or CDs specifically. They're sticky.
Yeah,
to
with the
touch.
cut open seal, and then like I don't know if DVDs ever had the dog bone, but I remember CDs had the dog bone, that holographic sticker.
Yeah.
That one took forever to cut open. Yeah.
DVDs, the worst one is the one that covers the top of the plastic sleeve, because when you pull it off, it creates a ripple. So then it looks like your card art is rippled. Yeah, that's not going to be an issue with this because you've got the cardboard sleeve with the disc inside of it separately.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. And then once you load it up, I mean, I'm not a huge like tech person. I can barely tell the difference between Blu-ray and DVD, but I mean, I'll say, you know, I watched it downstairs with the lights off. What's great about Strange New Worlds is the color. Like that's one of the aesthetic appeals of the show, right? And everything pops. All the colors are there. The blacks are black. The whites are white. It looks great. The transfer does look great, and it sounded good on my sound system.
Yeah, and it does sound good. None of us are like heavy home theater type setup guys, but it look good in a well-lit room. It looked good in a dark room. I would say it suffers. The main place where it suffers technically is the same thing almost all DVDs and Blu-ray suffer, is the volume between menus, special features, and regular episodes is not the most matched up, but it's also not the most egregious I've ever heard. And it's not, I mean, I've had, you remember falling asleep to DVDs before and then a menu comes on.
Oh man. On loop.
There.
Wakes you up because of the blaring sound.
Everybody has one DVD that they just pictured in their head where they went, oh, I know exactly what those guys are talking about.
Disturbing behavior.
Yours what was yours, John?
If I remember right, Ravenous has quite a jarring transition.
Yeah. Mine was the old school DVD, which I think starts with like some yelling and some loud percussion. And then the da-na-na-na-na, and I was like, but yeah. If you have one in the chat, please feel free to throw it out. Yeah.
Shout out your most good
Paramount. Just got to say, Paramount, thank you for letting us skip straight to the menu and not forcing us to watch the Discovery DVD commercial.
Yeah, there are some ads ahead of time, and yes, I let them all play through the first time because I don't know. I remembered that, like, oh yeah, you can't skip ads, and then tried it the second time, like, oh, you can skip through these ads, and they are only on disc 1. I don't recall any ads on discs 2 or 3.
That's a pro move too.
Yeah, much appreciated. Like, we get it. You got to advertise your other products for sure, but yeah, the skippability of the ads is definitely a win for the for Paramount and CBS.
Now, I skipped through those, John. Are they all Star Trek ads? Because I do appreciate at least getting Star Trek ads. Like,
no, it's
when I'm watching Paramount
Disco,
Plus, I can deal with that.
Disco, and then Reacher, and then Halo. So,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
hitting their high budget, high ticket shows.
Yep.
Which again, it makes sense. This is a commercial product. They are a company trying to sell things. So yeah, they go with their popular shows.
Now, most of the people watching this are probably, they probably subscribe to Paramount Plus. They probably have all the episodes streaming in great quality, depending on how you feel about the Paramount Plus app. So most people are probably here to find out, guys, special features, what's on there, is it worth it, is it good? So what do we think about the special features, guys? Do we want to start with one or just talk about our favorites?
Let's see. Should we talk about these generally and then jump into spoiler territory?
Yes. Right now, we're just saying generally, what can people expect, and do we think it's good?
Okay. So I personally feel like whatever you feel is standard for special features, that is here. Mm-hmm. And then the thing that the two things that surprised me the most is definitely the first one is having an episode of TOS, having Balance of Terror surprised
Super
me.
cool.
Very happy about that. And then Anson Mount's like personal video diary of production is okay. So usually I feel that these are incredibly self-indulgent, and you can tell that it's the actor going, I gotta be on camera, like, but in this it was like so indicative of that pandemic mindset, right? Of like, I feel a little stir crazy. Is this even gonna work? What are we trying to do here? And there is a moment where there is a connection between the production and the outside world that really touched me, and I don't think we get that in a normal set of special features. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that moment later for sure. Yeah, that was really good. I mean, so a lot of DVD files, talk about special features like, oh well, I don't want the mass-produced glossy kind of promo reel type special
Right,
feature,
right.
right? I hate when I pull it up and it's like half the special features just footage from the show, and the other half is very scripted sound bites from actors, and that's definitely not what you get here. I mean, some people like, look, it's all going to be glowing, it's all going to be positive. The studio's putting it out. We're not going to hear like terrible behind the scenes stories, but what you want to feel from these ideally is like you were there. You want to feel the vibe of what it was like to be on set, and I think that's the mark for like a good behind the scenes featurette for me. And yeah, the Pike's Peak Anson Mount's kind of video diary does that very well. It's also incredibly well edited. I just want to shout out the editor for most of the special features, I think, was
Yes.
Tracy Martinson.
Yep.
And I mean, they were really well done. They
They
were
were
not slapped
extremely well
together.
done. I watched them through twice. The first time was just content, just like sit back and enjoy. The second time was for notes. But yeah, I kept noticing that. Like, man, whoever, this is a separate company that comes in to make these. Sometimes it's a Paramount, whoever the studio is, but usually they just hire another company to make these kind of featurettes. And yeah, they did an outstanding job. They're well edited. They've got good balance, good use of the clips from the show, interviews. It keeps the pace going, and like Jesse said, it's not overly indulgent. So, absolute shout out to them and Tracy Martinson. Great job editing. Yeah. I could watch Anson Mount approach Ethan Peck with a camera all day, because Ethan Peck's responses every time Anson walks up to the camera they're just fun to watch.
Absolutely. Also love that Anson Mount, even in the middle of quarantine with a full-grown beard, obviously having just woken up and pulled out his phone, still looks like a celestial god.
His bedhead is like most dudes' best hair day of their life, right?
Yes.
Like, if your hair looks as good on your wedding day as his does when he wakes up in a trailer, like, you will consider yourself lucky. I was legitimately blown away, because I was like, oh, he's been through hair and makeup, this, that, and the other thing, and he's like, I just woke up. I'm like, what? Like, come on,
and he's
man.
always saying like, yeah, I don't know the thing about the hair. It's all the hair people. It's not me. I'm like, no, I think at least half of it is you, Anson.
Okay, he's the single most humble person, which is a weird sentence to say, because like it shouldn't be a contest, right? But he is incredibly humble. Like, all the talk of his humility and being a servant leader and this, that, and the other thing, they all come through. And like, on top of, yes, there are deleted scenes, there's a gag reel, there's episode commentary like you would normally expect. Now, as a huge, giant child, I will ask, and I know the answer is because it wouldn't be economical, but I will ask why there is not commentary for every single episode from at least one writer and actor. I totally get it. It doesn't make sense to do it, but like,
I mean, maybe not, but like, I mean, that's my biggest critique is I love what's there. I want more. We can talk about, and we probably will later, like whether we think there's more deleted scenes worth showing, but commentary, at least, it's a very good commentary between Anson Mount and Akiva Goldsman.
Oh yeah,
I always want to say Goldsmith, but that's Elliot and a composer. And it's a solid commentary, and specifically because the episodes are so like character centric for the most part, it would have been so easy to put like a writer and that episode's character actor in each one. And I don't know how much it costs to get them to come in and record, but I would have liked to have seen more. I think they could have done it, and that would have been great.
Here's
Yeah.
my only pushback on that, Cameron. That literally takes work away from us. You understand that, correctly?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's true.
if
That's
they
true.
do that, there are less stories for us to share with people.
Well, they can
Just throwing
hire
it
us
out
to do
there.
it for season 2 DVD.
Right?
Oh, come on. He's only half joking. Definitely do that.
Yeah. We have a lot of experience. We might have more experience interviewing Strange New Worlds people than anybody else on the planet. Just saying.
Except for maybe Anson Mount, because he
true,
seems to have interviewed all of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But gag real good. And so we got the AR, the world building special feature. It talks about their AR wall, which is super cool.
Yeah.
On one hand, I was like, oh, we kind of saw this already with the Mandalorian behind the scenes. They talk a lot about it. I think they were the first one to use an AR wall, but I did feel like they approached this a little differently and gave us different information about how it's used. I really liked it. I thought it was just long enough and just informative and interesting enough.
I was absolutely under the impression that it was like a huge moving ultra high def image that was like, a moving background, right? Like an animated background.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, it's like a fully parallax inclusive machine that follows the camera lens.
Yep. It's
So
tied
that
into the camera and
it makes the perspective always correct, because otherwise you would see that it's a flat screen, right? And I've always wondered, how do they keep it from looking like a screen? And I will
the image does move, right? The wall's not moving.
But
no, the wall doesn't move, but it's like
the
the
image
image
moves, but
yes.
only in relation to the camera. So that if
Right.
you're not like running the camera, like I can't imagine how trippy that would be.
it's not a backdrop. It's like a moving room on the other end of the camera. It's mind-blowingly cool. And in case I'm failing to explain that, you'll see what we're talking about in the DVD. But like to learn, so anything that's on the set, they have to like feed the 3D map of the set into the camera so that the wall knows where the camera is in relation to those objects. Like, there is so much science happening to make this show real. It just feels like it makes good sense because it's part of Star Trek, right? And because I'm this guy, I'm going to throw this out there. I swear in the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, there was 1 or 2 spots where I go, that's a screen. I can tell that's a video screen. And that has never happened to me in Strange New Worlds. In my head, I was going, oh, that's definitely that screen, but I can't see where that is. I just know that they're using it for that.
Yeah. And they talk about in the special feature how much learning they had to, like retraining of their brains and experience they had to do to be like, okay, this isn't just a blue screen, green screen like we've been working with forever. This is a whole new thing. And honestly, watching it and listening to them, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to retrain myself as a watcher, as a viewer of things like special features, things like that. Like, I'm just learning how the new technology is developing. I really am glad they mentioned, like, we had to go to school. Like it took a lot of learning and training of the brain to be able to picture what can we use this for and how flexible can it be and what are its limitations. So that was pretty cool to learn.
Yeah, Kiva talked a little bit about that in the commentary too, and I was like, I could use a little more detail on like what can't you use it on, and how did you guys make mistakes? But I'm sure most people wouldn't care. It was probably a good length. I would have loved a few more featurettes like that about maybe the music. Having interviewed Nami, like she would have been an amazing person to talk to about the music. Same with like the general production design. I think they could have done 2 or 3 more like specialized special features like that. But I do enjoy what we got.
Yeah. And I mean, we can always want more, but then it does lead to the question of why on a streaming series, why on a streaming show are there deleted scenes? And when you don't have commercials and you don't have time constraints, and we were talking
editing
about
is
this
not
the other day.
just about making things short. It's about pacing and story.
Yeah.
And I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Okay.
But I would like side nitpick. I don't know how that works, but like if they're digital and it's a streaming service, give me every scene that you cut. I don't care how finished it is. Give me all of them. I want to watch 7 hours of deleted scenes. Now, is that probably a Trekkie specific thing? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
But that's the other thing is it's like, when does it become not economical for them to go, okay, well, that's a whole other disc that we got to put in there, and like what, you know, then you got to set a certain resolution standard. And I understand. I'm just, like we're saying in the chat, like everybody in the chat is echoing. If you get to the end of the special features and you go, I wish there was more, that's a good thing. You don't
right.
want to be like, okay, now I'm done with this
Yeah.
until season 2 comes out. Because guys, guess what? I'm not done with this until season 2 comes out. I'm gonna rewatch the entire season. Like,
Yeah, I did feel the I forget the name of it, but the longer documentary, the hour one, it was for 50 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I did feel that was a little long. I think they could have cut 10, 15 minutes out of it. There's maybe just a little too much footage from the show and a little too much of the people just explaining what was happening in the episode.
Yeah, the Exploring New Worlds featurette was
Yes,
definitely
lots of good stuff there. I
dense,
mean, it was
yeah.
long and it was what's the word I'm looking for? It covered everything.
Yeah.
It covered everything. And
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, it ran a little long for me.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to cover every single episode a little bit, all 10 episodes of the season, and I think they mostly did.
Well, it was interesting because they kind of ran across the problem that we've talked about, which is like they were obviously treating it as like, well, we're going to go through each episode and talk about each character, which each episode focuses on, and then they get to like episode 6 and like, oh shoot, that fell apart. So we're going to skip this episode, and then we're just going to talk about Eric Ortegas for a while out of the blue, and then get back to the episodes.
Yeah, they did. They like 6 seems to be the one episode they really do not talk about much. There is a deleted scene or two from it, one deleted, one extended scene. But in the special features, man, you barely see anything about Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach. So, yeah.
The only other thing that I would say with that special feature in particular that I personally, as the fanboy character, really love about it is that, as has been apparent with every interview that we've had that is involved with the show, everybody there was really, truly, deeply grateful to be working at all, right? And B, to be part of Star Trek. And these special features, I think, really managed to convey that sense of, we don't know if this is going to work. We hope it's going to work. We think it's special. It feels special to us. So we're going to package it in the most special way that we can, I think, and give it to the world, because it honestly felt with the first season like they didn't know if they would get a second season, and until that was apparently announced like the same day that the first season was announced. But like, I'm sure they didn't know making it. So it was one of those, like, I just feel like there's something about this that feels almost ethereal, right? Because it was made so long ago, and it's just now hitting our hands. It's like, and we wanted it for even longer before that. There's no part of me that goes, yeah, I don't like this disc and I don't think you should pick it up. There's no part of me that does that. I think you absolutely should go get this disc, especially because in this era of Star Trek, I have to assume that the best way you can support Star Trek as a Star Trek fan is to watch it on repeat on streaming and purchase it physically when it comes out. Because, newsflash, not everybody is getting physical releases of their media at all.
Yeah,
some of their media just stops existing when the streaming service decides it does. So,
and that is a big thing these days. That's something I think people are going to talk more and more about, is digital content ownership, digital rights management. Do you own something if you've bought it only digitally and not on any kind of physical media that you can pop into a player? It leads to a lot of questions about what entertainment is, and the fact that, I mean, I've had several pieces of media I own only digitally that get edited. And what I bought, all of a sudden, it's not the same thing I bought. And it's usually been a typo or something like that. But obviously there is a much bigger potential use and abuse of that kind of thing. And what does it mean to own something these days?
Now, yeah, my takeaway is, if you really don't care about the behind the scenes of the show, I don't know why you're listening to us. That's all we do, have been doing for the past few months. So you probably care. If you really don't, and you have a Paramount Plus subscription, I mean, you've got all the episodes there. The Blu-ray is not going to do anything extra special unless you're also maybe a collector. But if you're listening to us, you probably care about these stories. And I would say, yes, the special features make it worth it. We've covered we've read a lot about Strange New Worlds over the last year. We've read a lot of the stories, and this isn't a retread of what we've all known and heard. There's a lot of good information, seeing the faces of a lot of people you don't see a lot of the writers, getting them to tell their stories about their scripts. It's really good. Deleted scenes, a lot of them are really fascinating. Gag reel, super fun. It's just great seeing these actors cut up. 15 years ago, I'd give this DVD release maybe a B plus. But like John was saying, the fact that a streaming service is giving us a streaming show on physical media with pretty good special features, maybe you could have used a little bit more, but what's there is really good. I mean, this is an A for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. The way it's
And-
not a goalpost move, it's just more like it's a change of the way, we live. We've gone through I know Cam and I both have pretty dang big disc collections of both. I mean, some
You
people
can
I
see
know
all
still
my
have
those are
tape
just my
collections.
CDs.
Yeah.
My DVD collection's like 5 times that big.
Yeah, and it's like, the risk with physical media was and is still just damaging what it's on, and then it doesn't work anymore. With streaming, it could just be gone. Like, we still don't have permanent long-term entertainment storage, and so it never hurts to have a backup. And also, like Jesse said, it does support. We've said it before. The way that people know, or Paramount knows, that people want new Star Trek is they have to pay for it. And, we're not advocating go out and spend money you don't want to or don't have, but buying a disc like this is a vote for more Strange New Worlds and more new Trek.
And we've talked about how there are Star Trek fans out there who don't know what Strange New Worlds is because it's a streaming show on maybe a channel they don't have for some reason. I don't know why they don't have Paramount Plus if they're a Star Trek fan, but there it is. It's out there. So I'm really hoping that this DVD release, Blu-ray release, finds its way to those fans.
Well, and you can help make that happen. Just go buy a copy and give it to those people. Like, when you see them next time, go, hey, it's been a while. Do you want some Star Trek? And then hand them Star Trek. They're going to love you. Who doesn't love that?
Or for less money, like $2 a month, you could join our Patreon, and then you could support us on Patreon, and then just tell those same people to do the same thing.
Yeah. And then they can hear me telling them to do that here.
Yeah.
Really quickly,
full
our
circle.
friend Mark said, I'm so glad that the time hangups are finally getting out of the way.
Yes.
And I agree with you, Mark, but dude, post on these episodes takes like a year. So as per Anson Mount's commentary. So like whenever season 3 is done, it's going to be a year until we see season 3 from the end of the shooting would be my guess. So just prepare yourselves for that. Speaking of getting prepared, guys,
I'm ready.
Do you think this is the time?
Let's do it.
All right, John, do the thing.
Are you going to say the thing?
Am I
I'll
going to
do
say
the
the thing? I am, absolutely.
I think we can talk over this, actually. That's how professional we are.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
There
Yeah.
are spoilers ahead, folks.
We're going to dive deep into these special features and what they say about our beloved Strange New Worlds. Hit us up with any questions on the chat. We didn't really have time to have people call in with anything, so feel free to ask those questions there.
Should we do deleted scenes first, or little clips from the behind the scenes stuff first?
I think let's
deleted
talk
scenes.
about. Oh, okay. We can do that
Oh,
too.
Okay.
I want to know specifically which moment from the special features you guys felt like we have to share. We have to share a little bit of this, right? But I'm happy to go in whatever order you guys are. I'm hoping we're also going to get some questions in the chat, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll do a couple deleted scene clips here.
Okay.
We did have a time request, so we're not just showing entire deleted scenes. We're working with Paramount, doing our due diligence. But first up is a little bit of a scene from episode 6, Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach.
Abada is sending someone in to lend a hand, and not a moment too soon.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant.
Over here. That thing attaches to the generator coil, right?
It's a plasma injection conduit. Are you sure you want to?
Yeah, I needed it in there 5 minutes ago. Give me a hand.
Sure.
Come on.
So, flew a little too close to the sun, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Oh, you cut it before like the practical sparks illuminated their hands. I want to know how they did that effect.
I think it was post.
You think so? Nothing else in this deleted scene was post.
Which I gotta say, I love that when there
Yeah.
are like that's what I mean. Like, if you're gonna give us deleted scenes, I don't care what state they're in. Like, put animatics in the actual video for all I care. I would take somebody doing an impression of the characters for the audio. But I love that we actually get even an additional look at Anson Mount's hair possibilities here in a deleted
Right?
scene, you guys.
Yeah, we were
And
just talking about this
just-
with Julian.
Yeah, with Julian of Strange New Pod about like what color is his hair in Disco and what color is Jeffrey Hunter's hair. And I think we landed on wet gray. But it's
asphalt.
definitely,
Oh, yeah.
yes, sorry, yes, rainy asphalt. And that's definitely the aesthetic we get from this Pike here. Also
Yeah.
loving the very cool TOS, pre-TOS style uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the most interesting deleted scene. It's a flashback to Pike and Alora's meet cute when he saved her.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with cutting it. It would have felt weird pacing. I assume this would have been after we come back from the cold open. We would have jumped to 6 years ago or whatever. And yeah, I mean, the pacing, I think it would have messed up. And I think what they probably realized is that those two actors just had so much chemistry. Like, it sold it. Like, I was invested in their relationship. I didn't need to see them be cute.
Well, and just how masterfully Anson Mount stumbles over himself communicates like 90% of the scene, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you can picture all of that by the way he goes, I have a yellow shirt now. Like, it's like, that's so, like, you immediately go, oh, he used to have a red shirt because he was a red shirt.
A red shirt,
I love it. You guys, I feel like such a little kid today.
Yeah. And I had fun with this. I do like that they aren't too precious about their deleted scenes. Like, yeah, there's some unfinished effects in some of these scenes, this one included.
Oh,
And
guys,
yeah.
when we get to see the Gorn puppet
Yes.
in episode 9, I
Yep.
just want all deleted scenes to have Gorn puppet rods in them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
that was one of my
And
favorites.
this one does feature a it's not quite the paper cutout of the ship of the Enterprise from
The digital version
episode
of
1,
that.
but it's pretty much just a digital version of that. And it's like, all right, that just makes me smile every time I see it.
Well, it does also raise a question as to, I'm sorry, why is she in a Federation shuttle? And
Yep.
because she's not a member of the Federation, like,
Yeah.
there could be some layers of stuff here, you guys. I don't know. But yes, we all want a Gorn puppet. And just, I'm going to throw this out there. If you are a patron, if you go to patreon.com/openpike and you sign up to be a patron for as little as $2 a month, not only are you going to be entered to win the contest and a signed apron that has Anson Mount and Ethan Peck's signatures on them, which you will, but you'll also get immediate access to a video where Davey Perez unboxes the Gorn puppet that he was given as a
Yep.
gift.
Matt Cat.
Like, I forgot about that until I saw Davey Perez in these special features, and we're going to talk about that as well. But just wow, you guys. Wow.
Yep. And we do have another deleted scene clip here from episode 9, All Those Who Wander.
That's handsome.
Impressive. Like their genetic coding. No doubt another evolution in order to hunt undetected.
Impressive. You think this is impressive?
It was merely an observation.
We need to make for the shuttles.
Oh, we can't. There's a hellstorm outside.
What? When?
We just need to reboot navigation.
He killed Duke right in front of you. Spock, doesn't that hit you somewhere deep inside? No. Nothing.
All right, Sam, that's enough.
We need to find a way to get to the shuttle.
Can you feel anything?
Hell no, I'm not
is
going outside.
another
You
way.
anywhere?
No,
Just
it's
some
not safe
heartless,
here.
pointy-eared computer.
Hey!
Now that that's out of the way,
Now that's a fascinating scene because it really shows like how just you can restructure and reframe an entire scene just by removing some bits and bobs.
Yeah. And I really like it because that's like, it is a much longer scene than that. Obviously, we got some of it in the official episode release, but I can absolutely see why they cut it down. But it was also nice to see almost the entire cast getting to be in one room, just interacting, overlapping, and it is a great tension building scene.
Well, and that's, excuse me, that's an insight actually that I got from Anson Mount's commentary on the first episode, was that they actually just shot this series in order, which I don't think they necessarily used to always do with TV shows. I'm not sure. I was never a TV show maker.
Well, no, most TVs, they're writing them as they're going. So, I mean, the fact that they even had it all written, I think
Oh,
nowadays more often they film them out of order than they used to.
Yeah.
Well, the point being that as they got closer to the end of the series in production, they were able to put more actors on stage together thanks to different restrictions and things like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this is the one deleted scene I'm on the fence about. Like maybe they should have kept, and I totally see why they didn't. It does work. The scene itself certainly works better when you just hone in on the conflict between Kirk and Spock. Everyone else getting mad kind of just muddies it a bit. But the reason I kind of like the fact that everyone's freaking out is because then when you focus on Kirk and Spock, you think that's a thing and it never gets resolved. This was one of our complaints about episode 9. And I think if they had just made it like, oh, well, this was just a scene where everyone was kind of losing their shit, then you wouldn't have missed that non-resolution later.
Yeah. And I will say I have seen this enough that I'm a little unclear on which parts got kept and which didn't. I don't remember if Mbanga saying "Easy Sam" was in the final episode.
I don't think so.
I really like that because it's like, oh hey, these people all know each other. These are coworkers. This isn't just separate characters who don't have lives together. And I definitely enjoyed that getting to see some more of that. I think this episode has more deleted scenes and more by far than any other.
Davey Perez was writing a feature film like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
this is probably the best time to bring this up. Davey Perez, the whole time that he's on screen in the hour-long feature where they're talking about, the whole season, he's wearing a black hat with a very prominent red Klingon emblem on the front of it. And I just want to say that basically essentially confirms my theory that in season 2, Bruce Horak is going to play a Klingon barista because these interviews were done on set. So
we presume.
Yeah.
No,
I think
it's a safe bet.
Some of them are green screen, you can tell, but I think this one was done on set. So
okay. So not only does Bruce Horak play a Klingon barista in season 2, but if Davey's wearing the hat, does that mean Davey wrote the episode? And if Bruce Horak's in that episode, is he going to kill Bruce again?
Dude, that would be hilarious. That would be, I would love it if they just started becoming the cycle of like, oh, which episode did Davey write? Oh, that's the episode Bruce dies in again. I mean,
yes.
I know that sometimes those, I don't know, like TV production meme type things have been happening as long as TV production has been around. And I love it every time.
Yeah.
I know it can get a little over, literally, jumping the shark became a reference in other stuff too. But man, why not? Why not give the audience what they know they want?
I'm still disappointed that Sam Kirk doesn't die in every episode that he's in. So give us this at least.
Yeah.
He killed Sammy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Beans, you got it. They killed Horak. They killed, like, we know it's dumb. We know it's a little bit of a taking you out of the story and the show. Like, just do it. It's if you're gonna do it, commit kind of thing.
To be fair, we didn't lose that many red shirts in season 1 of Strange New Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially compared to TOS, I think if we're being real here.
Well, let's just finish talking about the All Those Who Wander deleted scenes. Like you said, there's the most there. We had the whole prey posture thing. I didn't think they really needed that.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, some of the stuff at the end. So we had Uhura telling Pike and Una that she was going to accept their offer to stay on the Enterprise, and we get like solid resolution to that.
Yeah.
Glad they cut it because the editor obviously realized all you need is like Celia's look as she's looking at the chair over that montage, and that says everything that scene tells.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and it's a Hemmer episode. Like, just let it be. I mean, it's
also
it's
the last 10 minutes are
it's a new
getting everyone into
Hemmer
season 2 episode.
Well, but you could argue that Hemmer is an Uhura character essentially, right? Because like they have very good, important storylines and chemistry throughout the season, but it's like anything after the Hemmer sacrifice, I think that is too optimistic, and this is coming from me, sort of changes the tone of the episode a little bit. And I agree with you that I'm glad that they cut it. I kind of hope that we get to see something similar to it, because the look that Celia Gooding gives that console is like just mind-blowingly micro-expressive of so many things. I was really impressed.
Do you have the clip from that scene, John?
I don't, but I can grab it real quick. Which
It's not a
part
big
do you want?
deal. Well, specifically, so when she says, "Yeah, I'd like to stay on," they'd be like, "Oh, great! We've got a bridge position we've been meaning to fill. Your new position will be the comm station." And I'm like, "What is going on with Instant Christina?
Yeah.
What did she do that they have been meaning to fill her position?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
and yeah,
Yeah.
I want that story. I want like a whole John Jackson Miller. Are you listening? I want the Instant Christina story that like just everything that was going on with her during season 1 that led to this. And what I wish they had done is here's a little thing we learned from the commentary. Chief Kyle, not in season 2. Apparently, the actor got a movie gig and couldn't be in it. That's why. So why not just move? Because we know Jennifer, Instant Christina, is not going to be in season 2. Move her down to transporting and just have her keep moving around the ship, and then original TOS characters keep taking her place because she keeps getting butted aside. So
Then season 5, she's
Scotty
the big
comes
bad
in
for the whole season. And, yeah.
I was gonna say, it does seem like we're going to eventually get more legacy characters, which is not a secret, right? Like that's everybody knows that's gonna happen.
One by one,
But
they're going to start joining. Yeah.
to Venus's point in the chat, Celia is so talented. I'm obsessed with them. They do mention on the commentary that this show is Celia's second job.
Yeah.
And her first job got her nominated for a Tony. So it was like she's blasting off to, for lack of a better term. And Anson said that he told them, you understand this isn't normal, right? But I mean, striking distance of an EGOT, right?
Yeah. Celia did it. Wrong food. Just Googled how do I get it? How do I start being an actor? And it was like, okay, I'll do that. So,
but yes, it does. It specifically does sound like there will be no Kyle in season 2. I think he got
maybe comes back.
Yeah.
I think he got a series lead position in a different show.
He got it. Yeah,
they said he got a job, but I think it was a lasting, constant job.
Until, the season 3 special features were like, hey, is that Kyle in the background doing construction behind the scenes? Yeah, he just got a job. We didn't say what job he got, but hey, construction trades, they pay well, guys.
That's right. And then we get the at the beginning, the first deleted scene from episode 9 is the one Jennifer told us about with Christina and Una talking. I was like, why does this look so familiar? Was this a deleted scene? Oh, that's right. We heard all about this one. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun to see that. And they also cut a scene of La'an sort of dedicating herself to the mission of finding Newt. I just want to call her Newt. Of finding Newt's family.
It was kind of boring. I'm glad they cut that one too.
I'm glad they cut it. I think that I would predict we're gonna see a version of that scene sometime in season 2.
Yeah,
like save that for next season with their storyline.
Well, and I think same reason as I was okay with them cutting the other scene where it was like, this is La'an knows about the Gorn, but like we don't need this for her right now. Like just let Hemmer have this moment, and the Gorn could be a long mineable source of conflict for La'an. I don't think that needs to necessarily be like I don't think we even need to see an adult Gorn in season 2. I'd be okay if they made us wait till season 3 for that personally. But yeah, I would two things. I'd like to say, maybe Kyle just got transferred because he was so mean to everybody. I really hope they wrote in a line about that.
Wait, if Kyle and Christina are both missing next season, maybe they eloped.
Oh, there we go. That would work. Now, the other thing that I will say is, alas, Elysian Kingdom fans, the bounty which you seek is probably best found in Open Pike Night's backlog of episodes. And I don't mean to say that we don't have anything to tell you about Elysian Kingdom. I mean to say that there is a deleted scene for Elysian Kingdom.
There is
the most random deleted
shot for Elysian Kingdom.
Yeah, it's part of it. It feels like an alt of a scene that we did get.
The best Elysian Kingdom content we get is from Anson's diaries and learning what Melissa had to use to be able to draw her blade easily.
Yep. Yep. And
Yeah.
Anson talking about how long it's been since he got leather pants on. So, yeah.
That's right.
Which, you know me, immediately I was like, I got to get out Crossroads and see if that's what he's talking about, because there's some serious costuming going on in that movie.
Yeah. But speaking of Bike Speak, we do have a little bit of a clip from that that's just it's just heartwarming.
This is what we do during quarantine. We sleep with English bulldogs sleeping on top of us because there's nothing else to do.
Well, I've started feeding the squirrels now.
How you like your booties? Abel?
So,
Is his dog named April?
Or Abel, I think. is
Abel.
what I heard.
Okay.
I love it because it's like, I could picture that being Anson's video diary, or I could picture that being Pike's video diary in the middle of like a long Montana winter when he's in seclusion.
He's sending Battelle videos.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Miss you.
I want to really quickly say hello to Michelle in the chat and hello to Sayadina. Thank you so much for joining us. Got to say as well, hello to Beans.
Yeah.
Beans, I think this is your first time in one of our live events, so thank you so much for being here.
Wish
And
I
thank
had
you
beans
again,
I could throw.
all of you. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get
Venus,
some
thanks
beans
for being
done.
here. Yeah, we got
Yeah,
a good group of folks tonight, man. Thank you all for coming out to watch this.
Yeah, we do. We really appreciate it, you guys. And that Pike video diary, again, I'm gonna extol the virtues of it because it is one of my favorite things. And it's sort of it mirrors the structure of the other feature in that it kind of covers the whole length of the season. Like, he was just carrying this camera around asking people stuff all the time. And you folks here know that I am a huge Dan Janot fan. I know that we have some huge Dan Janot fans in the chat. So, John, if you wouldn't mind, please, this is one of my favorite clips from the entire disc, folks.
There we go.
What's it like acting in this AR wall spot?
It's pretty great. Makes work easy. I don't have to imagine that in my brain. What do you think, Sam Kirk?
Brings us right into these strange new worlds, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's me. That's my energy. Like, that is what I would do if I were on this show. And we've heard so many stories on this disc and on our podcast and in real life about how much fun these actors have on this set and how much it feels like a family and how every day at work feels magical, right? And it's like, come on, everybody, you got to say that. You got to assume that that's how every set feels, right? Because you're making TV and movies and it's cool and like it's amazing. It's not like that on every set. So to see like actual proof of them just literally smiling all the time in the middle of this impossibly high pressure situation with incredible stakes. I mean, it is very Star Trek, right? It's very Star Trek. And I am beside myself with joy right now.
To your point, Jesse, yes, there must be hours, days of footage out there. And Tracy Martinson, if you're listening, Open Pike Night will pay you all of our Patreon money for that footage.
Yes.
Just email openpike@gmail.com. Drop a file. Drop a file.
Venus in the chat would like to know how much for John to cosplay Sam Kirk. Should we set a new patron goal, gentlemen? I think we
So this would be a you mean just mustache on me?
That's how else do you cosplay Sam Kirk?
Man.
Yeah, how else could we tell you?
I don't know if you
being
guys
him?
want to see that. This beard does a lot of heavy lifting. So,
Oh, so you're saying there is a level You just don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's a
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And I got to throw this up. Michael says, all of our Patreon money, both dollars. And to that point, you literally can sign up for our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. And again, be entered to win a signed apron. Anson Mount and Ethan Peck have both touched it with their hands and breathed air onto the apron that you could win.
I'm not going to say they didn't lick it.
Yeah.
I will.
I'm not
They
saying
didn't
they
do
did,
that.
but
They
yeah.
didn't do that.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Okay. What else? Gag reel was good. Gag reel was solid. I think again, I feel like there should have been more Elysian Kingdom representation based on what we've heard, but maybe someday.
I feel that could be its whole own mini documentary. Honestly, like if Paramount Plus is looking for content, like seriously, do like the Disney Plus. It's like a gallery. I can't remember what they call it.
Yeah.
Do a making of just that episode, and I will watch it. I will send people the
Even
code
better.
and say,
I can
use your thing and watch.
I can make it easier for them. Just send us all the behind the scenes clips. Cam and I have been editing videos for a long time. We'll make that special feature.
That's right. That's right. We will.
We're literally offering that to you. Come on, how nice is that?
We did say we're going to talk about the moment that made us tear up. Sounds like it made you tear up. It made me tear up. Not often that a special feature makes me tear up, but when Anson Mount was reading the letter from NASA to the crew, with the intercut footage from all of the Star Treks through all the years, damn, that was good. That takes special features to a whole nother level.
It does, and whomever at NASA
Michelle.
wrote that note, like which he does give proper credit in the special features. But I want you to buy this disc, so I'm not going to say their names. That's me covering for not remembering. It's an actual like set of NASA scientists going like, hey, this is a job to you guys. To us, this is how we got into our real life.
Why they are where they are.
You are responsible for the first step that leads to these discoveries.
And that's like wow, right? Because like we've had people, connect with us and say, hey, you're part of my day now, or like we met some people at our first ever convention and they're part of our lives now. We know those people in real life, and it's like the smallest version of connection, one person at a time, is something that we really pride ourselves in here at Open Pike Night. So to be able to just point at the show that we cover as an example of the same is really, really meaningful. And that, I think that's sort of akin to what I tried to tell Anson Mount when we got our autograph from him, was like, hey, everybody that we've met says that you are a leader on set as well as off. And it is so cool to, hear that the person playing a Star Trek captain is exemplifying the qualities of a Star Trek captain. And it's you really do get that on this disc or these discs, right? Like it truly comes across that this is a family of people who love making what they make. And I am so grateful to be just a very small part of it. And again, thank you to Paramount for sending us some copies so that we could bring a few more people together around this beautiful show. And you guys, seriously, go buy a copy, put it in somebody's glove box, like hide it wherever they're going to find it. Just like, if you give people Star Trek, they will love you. They will never be mad at you for giving them free Star Trek. That's all I'm telling you.
If you give a person Star Trek, you'll if you teach someone to Star Trek,
someone to Star Trek, they'll trek for life.
Something about a fish and how Paramount Plus is a river, or a stream rather.
Stream. Okay, we got something. We'll workshop this.
If you go to look at a whale, you'll have Star Trek for a day. If you steal a whale, you'll have Star Trek for life. There.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. We are available, Paramount. Yeah.
Speaking of,
go ahead, Cam.
I would just say, that just reminded me of what a goofball Akiva seems to be, and I cannot wait until
I cannot wait
till
till we get our chance to talk with him. Yeah,
he seems delightful.
Yeah, very energetic man. Yeah.
Well, and he and Anson seem like just absolute best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it like watching them together makes you jealous, right? You're like, I want to be best friends with Anson Mount and Akiva Goldsman. Like, but if for those of you that cannot, you have us.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, like, in 10, 15, 20 years popping these discs back in. They don't heavily lean on, they mention quarantines, and this is filmed in 2020. Start like this synced up exactly with the beginning of the COVID pandemic, and they don't heavily lean on it or talk about it, but it's there. It's always there in the background. The masks, the face shields, the quarantine, stuff like that. Like, this is a good archaeological piece of entertainment.
Yeah. Turns out it affected the story in many ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the better, sometimes for slight canon issues, but yeah.
Now, actually, I think that's a great a great point to answer this question really quickly for Kelly and say that yes, it is still pending. We want Ethan Peck to come on the show and tell the story, but I can DM you if you absolutely must know. And I will say, is there one thing that you guys feel like you pulled from these special features about season 2 that you feel like you didn't know before you watched all the special features, even being the Star Trek Strange New Worlds podcasts where your personal logs are the prime directive? For me personally, it was that folk should probably expect more Captain Patel going forward, which is not necessarily something that was planned, but was resultant of just the insane chemistry present on screen.
Well, like, who
Patel's
doesn't have
actor
chemistry
and Pike's actor
with Pike? Like, they should just plan for everyone who interacts with them to have great chemistry.
I mean, that's not untrue.
I think honestly the revelation that between what we've heard with Ensign Christina and Chief Kyle, knowing that some red shirts didn't make it, but in different ways. Hopefully they're both, obviously they're both out there working. Everybody needs to take the best roles they can, but it would be fun to get some, just one sentence, one-liners. We don't need a whole story of what happened to him, but like, give us something.
Maybe when Captain Angel shows back up in season 3, Christina and Kyle have joined up with them.
Oh, yes.
Angel and Cybok, yes.
Yep.
I think you've kind of covered most of them. It was the Chief Kyle revelation, more Batel Pike chemistry going on, and then most likely more red string for our Klingon theory.
And one other thing that I took from the commentary that sort of surprised me, I think this is my last note. We can expect a little bit more of the tension / maybe rivalry between Chapel and La'an.
Yeah.
That is sort of present in the first episode when they're kind of, and you boss a spaceship, right? Like, that dynamic sounds like it may get expanded upon in future seasons with an S.
And I just love hearing that, like, Anson Mount is just as much of a horse lover as Pike is. Like, loves a horse.
No. Equestrian
lover?
Yeah.
No. Equestrian.
Equestrian lover.
And horse lover. Yeah, I get it.
That's the problem.
You guys, he's never going to come on if we title this episode Anson Mount Horse Lover. It's equestrian. How many times do I have to
I don't understand, but okay. You sound like you know what you're talking about, Jesse.
That's like what I do professionally, is sound like I know what I'm talking
about. Love horses? Oh, okay. That's right.
Again, equestrian.
Oh. One of these days I'll get it.
Well, folks, I don't know if there's anything else that we can do to come back from that. I will ask if there's anyone in the chat. And again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Kelly, Venus, Tessa, Sayadina, Michelle, Peter, Ricky,
Michael.
All of you, Michael.
Oh, Michael, yep.
You have always supported Open Pike Night, and just to have you here again with us for a live feature is really cool. Thank you so much for being here. I think that there is something about this show that just feels different from the other Treks, and that I think that it's the amount of fun that there is, right? Because I'm loving Picard season 3. I don't know if fun is the first word that I would describe it with. I've always loved Discovery, but like, fun again is not always the word I would choose to describe it. Heavy maybe is a word I would go with there. I have so much fun with Strange New Worlds, and the
gravity.
This disc is really heavy on the fun, and you guys are just going to keep making puns this whole time. This disc is heavy on the fun in much the way that the first series is, in my opinion.
It's indicative of the series, for sure. Guys, Tuesdays have long been DVD release days. I don't know if people know that, but it's the day I've always celebrated. DVD release day, Tuesday. I've enjoyed many of them, getting great copies of DVDs. This has been the most fun DVD release Tuesday I've ever had. Getting Strange New Worlds and getting to talk about it with you guys and with everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming out, guys.
Oh yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate every one of our fans. We hope you enjoyed the podcast episode from earlier today. If you haven't had a chance to listen, we talk about The Cage with Julian from Strange New Pod, and that was a super fun episode to record and edit, and I'm glad we get to share with you guys. I'm glad I got to see The Cage for the first time finally. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. And again, thank you to Paramount Home Entertainment and CBS for providing us with some advanced copies to check out. We really love Strange New Worlds, and we love being able to be a source of information and entertainment in conjunction with Strange New Worlds to build more of a community and get more Star Trek.
Yeah,
and we love swag.
Well,
Yeah.
and the only way to get more Tegas is to get more Star Trek. So that if there's a way to do that, we're gonna find it.
Yes.
I just have to say again one more time before we get out of here, thank you all so much for being here in the chat. If you haven't, head on over to patreon.com/openpike and sign up for as little as $2 a month to enter our Patreon apron giveaway. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at openpike. You can call to leave your voicemail for the show at openpike.com/join us, or you can just go to openpike.com and get it all in one place. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great night. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.